The final day of the New York Giants mandatory minicamp practice is officially in the books. And with that being said, we have more news, notes, highlights, observations from another day here at practice. And in this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about the guys who not only stood out, but the guys who are starting to break out here right before the start of training camp, which is in about 6 weeks from now, maybe a little bit less than that. So before we jump into the video, like we always do, I want to give a massive shout out to all of the New York Giants media team out there who works so hard each and every single day to get these highlights out for us. Without them, these videos are not possible. So make sure you guys go follow them on Twitter. You're going to see their ads at the top left of your screen throughout the entirety of this video. And if you want real in-time or, highlights from them, they'll be posting them pretty much throughout all of the training camps, so go follow them right now. And with that being said, let's kind of jump into the video. Now, day one was yesterday. Some of the biggest plays came from, Wan'Dale Robinson took a slant to the touchdown or to the end zone from Drew Lock. I mean, it was beautiful, and the entire team celebrated. And that's probably one of the biggest takeaways is this team feels like a team. They feel like they're all here together, practicing as a team and wanting to see each other succeed. And for past seasons, I feel like the chemistry and the aura wasn't there, but this season just feels a little bit different. Now, one of the better defensive players from the past couple of weeks here during OTAs and mandatory minicamp has been Caleb Hayes. Now, this is a guy who I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, was on their practice squad last year, pretty much for the entire season. He's 6 foot, 195 pounds, and this is a guy who, was really, really good. Blanketed Chase Cota on a deep ball from Drew Lock on day one, knocking away. Now, Cota was injured on the play. I think they had 3 wide receivers go down with injuries yesterday, but Hayes looks like he is an absolute monster. You look at this New York Giants depth chart right now, specifically in that DB room, and there's still a lot of guys that need to continue to make names for themselves, right, and make this team. Not only do you have a guy like Cordell Flott and Drew Phillips and Deontay Banks, but then you have a guy like Nick McLeod and Trey Hawkins and Darnay Holmes, right? So yes, it might be a long battle upwards for Caleb Hayes, but if he continues to make plays like this, especially when the pads come on, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he continues to make his way, up this depth chart and potentially even make the roster, right? Now, another big news piece that we got was Evan Neal will not be participating and hasn't participated in minicamp at all, and they're gonna, kind of allow him to rest until the start of training camp. So hopefully we see him, get better and better as time goes on. But right now, he's not really doing too much. I think he had a step back in his recovery, but again, they do expect him back for training camp, which I guess overall is a good thing. Andrew Phillips is starting to look really, really good, right? And the big thing about Andrew Phillips is we've seen him progress every day, right? So he's a guy that wants to be coached, wants to be better, and wants to improve each and every single day. And that's kind of what we've seen from Andrew Phillips. Obviously a 3rd round pick. I believe he intercepted Tommy DeVito's pass on Tuesday, had a couple of nice plays on Wednesday as well, which is today. So definitely think Andrew Phillips is definitely one of their guys who could definitely be a day one starter for this outside or even a backup slot corner to Nick McLeod this spring. So I'm just really, really excited to see how Andrew Phillips continues to progress. Right now, not really getting too many first team reps, but when he does, he makes the most of them. So very interested to see that. Now, Daniel Bellinger, so got some more news about him. Did not, take part in 11-on-11 work on Tuesday, and definitely was not really too active during OTAs as well. Don't really know if he's dealing with an injury or if he's just sitting out. I don't really know what's going on with him, but the fact that he's been sitting out, it's allowing other guys to really step up. And now that Darren Waller is retired, Daniel Bellinger has to take this shot and run with it, right? But right now, he's not really doing that. Theo Johnson, even Lawrence Cager, those are 2 guys who are just playing out of their minds in camp so far. So I don't really know what's going on with Daniel Bellinger. We'll see what happens throughout the next couple of weeks and months as we lead into training camp. But so far, so good for the backup tight ends, right? We'll talk more about that in just a second. Before we get into that, do me a big favor, hit that like button, not only so we can get this video out to more Giants fans around the world, but more importantly, subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's free, it doesn't cost anything, and we will be covering the Giants throughout the entirety of the offseason. Now, you might be asking, what does that entail? What does that include? Well, the rest of mandatory minicamp, which is ending today. So we're going to keep you updated over the next few weeks, but training camp, preseason, regular season as well. Everything you guys need to know, we got you guys covered. So make sure you guys join the family. And also, if you want to watch some Giants games live with me, follow my Twitch. We're going to be live over there as well. It's Matty Dubs, 3 S's, or you can find the link in the description as well. Now, this is probably what you guys have been waiting to see, or maybe waiting to hear, I should say. Malik Nabers and Daniel Jones, the chemistry is, starting to form here, right? So this is probably the biggest thing to pay attention to, is their relationship going forward. Obviously, you're not going to have a wide receiver breakout unless the rapport with the quarterback is really good. And so far, it's been getting better, right? Started off a little bit slow, but as the days go on, he's starting to, or they're starting to really communicate more and get on the same page, which is huge, right? I think Malik Nabers could be a massive weapon for Daniel Jones in this offense, for next season. And I think, if Daniel Jones is ever going to break out, it's this season. You look at the weapons that they've brought in with guys like Malik Nabers and Wandale and Jalen Hyatt and Allen Robinson and Isaiah Hodgins and Darius Slayton, and you have the Devin Singletaries, you have Eric Gray and Tyrone Tracy, who's taking a lot of reps as a special teamer. Also got first team reps as well for the Giants on Tuesday and Wednesday. So look for Tyrone Tracy. I know I got off topic for a second, but I expect Tyrone Tracy to, slowly get more implemented into this offense and maybe even be a third down back for this team as someone who can catch the ball and make things happen after the catch, right? But Daniel Jones, let's get back to him. I think this could be the year that he really shows why not only he's worth that contract, but he could be the future of this New York Giants team. So that was definitely something to see. In Tuesday's practice, he was 10 of 17. Locke went 1 of 5 during during his period. Tommy DeVito was 12 of 16. Nathan Rourke was 4 of 6. So obviously, Drew Lock and these quarterbacks have a lot to continue to develop on, and we'll see what happens with Daniel Jones going forward. We'll see if he can continue to improve as the days go on. Devin Singletary, Tracy, Asante, all taking some kickoffs and punt returns as we continue into the rest of practices. But overall, a good minicamp for the Giants. I thought they did really, really well. They're going to take a long break before the start of training camp, which I believe is July 23rd, I want to say. But yeah, Illuminor practiced at multiple different positions coming over from the Raiders. They played him at guard, tackle. So I think Illuminor is a guy that obviously gives them a ton of depth. So we'll see what happens with that going forward. But let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, and I'll see you guys in the